Hey there, what's up people, and how you doing today? Today we're going to talk about mandates. No, not dates with men. Mandates, mandates, mandates as one word, not mandates. I would like to first say that this video is brought to you by today's sponsor. I know I don't usually have a sponsor, but today's sponsor is that product. That crappy product that you don't want. You know, that one that the various companies want to sell you a product you don't need. Therefore, they will use influencers and YouTubers to advertise their product. Today, I'm here to sponsor that product, that crappy product that I know sucks. And I guess I could have planned that better. This one's off the cuff, and I'm just kind of speaking from the heart. Got a few things on my mind. Where do I start? Mandates. I was going to make this a couple of days ago, and, I just don't even really want to talk about this kind of crap, because what's been going on with the rules and regulations and laws regarding the shots, the laws regarding where you can travel, going to concerts. For a moment, I'll start with the Fish concert I went to a couple weeks ago. We were required to have either a vax card or a negative test to enter. So we had to go like 2 days before and, schedule an appointment so we were within that window. We managed to, get the tests. We got to the show. We got our camp spot. We went and got our bracelets or, whatever bracelet they had for showing that you'd shown your negative test or your card. Show me your papers, And we went along with the show. We got there Thursday. We partied Thursday night, we slept for the most part, but Friday, Saturday. Then we came home Sunday. It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There were 3 concerts. We came home Monday, sorry. And my son, he had his first shot, but my wife and I haven't. And it's funny because I'm talking to an audience who at least 2/3 of you, if you're going by statistics, 2/3 of you have probably already been vaccinated. And that's fine. And that's great. If people choose that, I feel like that's absolutely, as an adult, as a human being, that is your choice to do so. You have all the information available at your fingertips. You know your own health. You know your own risks. But that's not good enough now, because now they're forcing everyone. The mandates, you can't go to a concert, you can't travel. Now they're forcing businesses with over 100 employees to, make sure that every employee is vaccinated. And I have mixed feelings on this. I shouldn't say they're not really mixed feelings. I really have one strong feeling, and I think it's complete bullshit. But I don't want to get into a debate about the dangers of something I don't even know yet. I'm not sitting here saying that it's a bad idea. I'm saying it's a personal choice, but it's no longer a personal choice when it's mandated. I can understand in certain lines of work, like, in the military. When you sign up for the military or you work in a healthcare field, you are required to get many different shots. I mean, that's just part of the package deal for the career you chose. And but as a citizen of this country that isn't owed anything to anyone, to have my elected officials tell me what I need to do with my body, I find to be ridiculous. But the strange thing is that when I say that, I come across as some right-wing talking point BS. People have really convinced themselves that everybody who has not been vaccinated is somehow a Fox News viewer or listens to right-wing commentary, when that's not the case at all. Actually, I've really had a hard time with this whole thing, trying to figure out what's the best approach. I want to be a responsible citizen. I want to protect those around me and myself. But then I start hearing about these cover-ups and stories that aren't shared and the underlying BS that isn't told to the public, and how this, at the very least, the pharmaceutical industry definitely has a vested interest in seeing this thing through, one way or another. We've got the lab leak hypothesis, which is becoming less of a hypothesis and more of a possible reality. From the beginning, we've been saying that, but nobody's really talking about that. We're so concerned right now with these variants and what's going on. Well, here's the thing, to back up for a moment, when we went to the concert, my son rode back with my wife and I in the school bus. And we had all been hanging out in a group all weekend. He said he'd had a sore throat. The next day, he said he couldn't smell. Now that was pretty much, we knew it. And he went down and got a test and he was positive. He went to stay with his friend, the guitarist from his band that played at the campground where we were at. And he as well was sick. And I think one or two other people from our group. Now, mind you, all these people were vaccinated. Everyone who wasn't in our group didn't get sick. It was the strangest thing. My wife and I, and then our other two friends, my son's friends, who didn't get sick either. And we're at a festival, we're at a concert, we're screaming, we're partying, we're sharing balloons and pipes. It's amazing to me how many people that I know have been, supposedly doing the right thing and taking care of themselves and others, who still are getting sick and spreading it. And there's this false sense of security that surrounds that. And I think what we're getting at is, at this point, and I think this is just my speculation, this comes down to the sunk cost fallacy. There are several different fallacies that, which are basically just errors in thinking, for simpler terms, lack of simpler terms. Errors in thinking, and the fallacy for sunk cost means that you've already invested time in something you don't want to back out. You've already made this claim, it's too late now. You've already made this investment, it's too late now. The best example I can think of is you get halfway through a crappy movie and you're like, God, this movie sucks, but I've already put this much time into it. I might as well just finish it. It's also known as commitment bias, or that's a different factor of it. But that's committing to a project you've started. You start a new business, it's not working out, and you just keep going because it's all you know, and you feel that's what you have to do because you put all this money and time into it. Sometimes that can pay off, but usually when you know it's done, it's done. Well, this also happens, it's basically supporting your own past decisions. With the pharmaceutical industry, if they say something works, they're going to continue to say it works. Their sunk cost is the fact that they created a vaccine for a strain of virus that seemed to be really effective against it, but this strain is no longer the predominant strain. Well over 90% are supposedly Delta cases, in which case we're going to have to adjust the vaccine. With all the billions of dollars that have been poured into the research, including a lot of the government grants, yes, your tax dollars pay for it twice because you not only have funded your tax dollars to many of these companies to develop the vaccines, but then at the same time, these companies are selling it back to the government. Even though you're not paying for it, someone is. Every time you go down to get a COVID test, so you can go to an event or something, somebody gets billed for that. You get billed for that. We all get billed for it. So we're in kind of a stuck situation where there's all this medicine out there that is supposed to, help us get over something, and now the accusations are flying that it's all of us, the small percentage who hasn't taken it yet, that are the ones who are spreading it. I won't deny that many people who choose not to get the shot are probably more likely to get a severe illness in the hospital. At least some of the statistics have shown that. But these are a small percentage of people in general to start. Many of the people who aren't getting it aren't old and stubborn. We're young, vibrant, healthy, we have good mindsets, and we're not worried about dying from something like this. Maybe we should be, but isn't that our choice as individuals? I'm a deviant. And when I say that, I'm not talking about like the type of sexual deviant, when people think of that. More like the deviant art or anything that deviates from societal norms is considered deviant, right? Well, I've always been that way. I've always despised, government and authority. I've always despised a lot of types of people. I mean, I have my own opinions on life. I have my own opinions on the world around me. And they're all my own, But I don't deviate to fit into some class. Think about the hipster, right? Big trend in the early 2000s, right? I mean, at least the term. You've got the hipsters, and I live in Portland, right? Or at least in the area, and sure enough, I've seen plenty of them. You've got tight jeans rolled up with some, ridiculous, dress shoes or something with a flannel shirt, or maybe it's tucked in, and you know what a hipster is defined as, and I'm giving you kind of the stereotype, right? Well, the idea in the hipster's mind was to be different, be outside of societal norms. And in the end, they all look the same. And so what I'm getting at here is that my form of deviance isn't just to find another group that's kind of the outcast, the anarchists, or I'm the extreme liberals or the extreme conservatives. I don't fit into any groups. And it's very lonely sometimes because my own thinking leads me to some very strange ideas about life that others don't agree with, and I can completely respect that. I don't expect other people to agree with my decisions. And that's the thing that I think bothers me about what's going on with mandates. Others expect everyone else to agree with their decisions. And last time I checked, this is still somewhat a free country. It's kind of ignorant to say that we live in a free country when we don't. It's a corporatocracy. It's a kleptocracy. It's an oligarchy. You can call it a million different things, but what we have is some sort of crony, twisted capitalism that only benefits the very few, and the rest of us suffer because of it. Shutdowns, lockdowns, telling businesses what they can and can't do, who they can and cannot serve, making it a law that you cannot allow someone in your restaurant or in your place of business without the proper paperwork. It's a slippery slope. Society is obsessed with progress, but we just set ourselves back. A year and a half ago when this began, I followed all protocols. I listened to the different doctors. I said, we don't know enough about this, and the potential of a lab leak means that it could be extremely harmful. We just didn't know. And even at that point, there were people fighting mandates and laws and rules, but I just followed along with what I was told, not because I'm ignorant or stupid or I was just listening to authority, because I looked at all the science and said it's not there yet. Let's just be safe. Why, put myself and others in danger if I don't have to? But after all the time that we've had to think about this, do we really feel the same way about it? People have dug in their heels on either side so far, they refuse to budge. I might still go out and get the shot. Maybe it'll turn out to, be better adapted to future strains. Maybe there will be a reason for it, but I will not be forced to put something in my body that I don't want. Why is it so hard for people to think for themselves? I think it's because we're unsure of ourselves. And if we can't find a group that we can attach to and think like them, it makes it very difficult to navigate the world because we're unsure. And believe me, I guess I would be the king of, ambivalence and being unsure about things. I have mixed feelings about everything. It's like my brother and I were even talking about nihilism last night, and I was saying, I see nihilism different than I once did, even because as more of a stepping stone to another level. You eliminate everything that everyone has told you to be true, and then you rebuild your reality based on what you see, what you feel, what you know, what's been taught. We have been force-fed so much bullshit for our whole lives that sometimes we can't even step back and say, wait a minute, is this all really for the betterment of society? And if so, the big question that comes up, why should I have to sacrifice any of my personal freedoms for other people? Now, before you call that selfish, I'm not saying that I don't or I shouldn't. I get a good feeling when I help other people, when I do the right thing, or what I think is the right thing. But that doesn't mean that I will push that on others and say, this is what you should do. For example, if I gave to charity, I wouldn't say everyone should give to charity. It's the old quit smoking syndrome, or the smoker quit syndrome. You quit smoking and everybody needs to quit smoking and be healthy. You quit drinking, everybody needs to quit drinking and be healthy. We reflect in others what we see in ourselves or what we want in order for them to be more like us. And therefore, we're very easily swayed as human beings, but especially as American citizens, it's shameful. I honestly didn't realize how ignorant people really were. I mean, it's not that I didn't know that, because I'm one of them. We're all ignorant. Sometimes I think, with all the things that I've studied and researched and learned and thought about in my life, I still can't figure it all out. So I damn well can't believe that somebody else has. You know, we're living in a world where people idolize people like Elon Musk or Donald Trump. I don't understand it. I probably never will. But I think it has more to do with us wishing that that society was different, but we don't really know what we're looking for. I was talking with my son and his friend last night, and I was saying, what people really want is very simple. We really overthink progress. You want to be well fed. You want to have family and friends and loved ones around you, for the most part, or at least available in our lives. Not everyone feels that way, but having true love in your life, having a place to call your own, and good food, good times, and nature around you is really that simple. But it's unattainable for a majority of people, especially those who live in apartment high-rises in somewhere like Chicago, where it's concrete jungle. How are you going to possibly, see the world in a positive light? And therefore, people are scared, and they don't know what to believe, and we have ceased to look at nature for answers and moved to, what does the CDC tell us to do? Is this FDA approved? Oh, it's free. Oh, somebody's going to pay me $100 to put experimental medicine in my arm. I can do without the $100. If I choose to get it, it will be for my own reasons. So it's pretty shameful where we're at right now. And from what I heard this morning, and I have to confirm this again, that Los Angeles County schools just mandated vaccines for all kids 12 to 18, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check on this. But it hasn't even been cleared by the FDA for students that young yet. It's only for extreme cases in the UK. They haven't even approved it for kids under 16 in the UK. They say that the diminishing returns, it's not worth it. Even with a rare case of myocarditis, those are the ones you notice. There's a lot of talk about blood vessels and not understanding how this works, but then they scare you in the media. Oh, kids are dying from COVID. It's like, really? How many? Because I haven't heard of any. And you wonder why people don't trust the media, why people don't trust leadership. And here I am talking about it on YouTube, which could even earn me a strike on my channel just for talking about this. But I refuse to remain silent on this issue because it affects us all. My whole family's been affected by this crap, just like everyone else's. And now we're being told that we can't even make our own choices. And one of the most crucial things to remember here, natural immunity or natural infection has not even been considered by the CDC at all. They will not even discuss it. They won't talk about it. They won't even lend any credibility to a person who got sick and recovered. They say, get your shots anyway. It's like, just go get it. Don't worry about whether you need it or not. This is serious business. Serious shit, putting medicine in your body. Spike proteins, synthetic versions of something that might not even deal with the variant that's currently going around. And you wonder why people are suspicious. Well, I urge you all to make your own decisions. I'm sure everyone already has. And I guess I just wanted to unload some of that crap. It's been kind of a rough week, all that crap on top of having my car freaking stolen the other day. Oh man, I hate thieves. I'm going to have to do a video about that too. But, point being that there's a lot of problems out there in the world. There's a lot of potential for, violence and crime. And here we are, the police won't even do anything about these issues yet. They will slam people to the ground to enforce a mask mandate or social distancing rules or somebody leaving their house. If you haven't seen the kind of shit that's going on right now in Australia, I would urge you to at least look it up. Because if that type of authoritarianism comes to this country, we are in big trouble. In Australia, they're, arresting kids on the beach and, for gathering together with a few friends in the middle of the night. People are getting hurt. They're getting beaten over being outside. It's a sad state of affairs. I'll ramble at this point, so let me know what you all think. I'm over it with this whole thing. I just want to move on with my life and not worry about it. If it's going to continue to mutate, we have now an endemic. We know now that we're not going to overcome it when the rest of the world's not vaccinated. And therefore, it's an endemic. It's going to remain, and it's going to continue to mutate every year, just like the flu. And you'll have to take the latest shot that keeps up. And if that's something people choose to do, it should be a choice. Those are my thoughts. I'm out. Take care.